Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cozy Soul Knitting Podcast. If you are new here, hello, welcome. I'm Saoirse. This is episode 20 of this knitting podcast, and if you've never been here before, this is a very traditional style knitting podcast. I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing, finished objects, my current knitting whips, as well as I do have quite a few acquisitions this time around, and we'll talk a little bit about those. It's been probably more like closer to 3 weeks since I last filmed a podcast episode. I've just been busy. It's been chaos lately. I feel like every weekend there's something going on. During the week things are going on, things are happening. Today I had kind of the first chance to finally sit down and film. So we're doing that, and I'm very, very excited because I've got, I feel like, a little bit of everything to show you today. The light outside, it's been like sunny and then cloudy and then sunny and then cloudy. So if the lighting is changing all over the place, I do have a ring light, but there's also big windows, so like it may fluctuate, and I apologize. Let's get into what I'm currently wearing. This is the Me Oh My top, I think. I feel like I always have the wrong name, so I will correct it on the screen if it's not what, if that's not what it's called, but I think it's the Me Oh My Tee by PetiteKnit. It is amazing. I love it. I'm gonna stand up actually and show you because it's cropped, so I like fit in frame. I love the sleeves on this. I love the length of it. I didn't think I'd be a fan of like the rolled edge, but I kind of like it. It's grown on me since I knit this. I knit this last summer. The yarn is Noro Kakigori. I can't remember what the shade is, but it's obviously the pink colorway. I don't think that they have that many. I will search and find the number, because I think it's just a number instead of a name, and I will leave it in the description box if you are curious. But it's just this really bright pink with like lots of little bits of other colors in there. It's one of those thick and thin yarns, so it goes from like sometimes even like a lace weight almost looking thinness to worsted weight. It's not my favorite in terms of working with, just because I'm not a huge fan of thick and thin yarns. I don't know, I feel like it messes with my tension. So it's, again, not my favorite to work with, but overall I think I remember enjoying working on this, and now that I'm wearing it, I want to knit another one because I put it on today and I was like, wow, this fits better than I remember it fitting, or I like it more than I remember liking it, and I think I'm going to knit another one of these. Maybe not this summer because I have other things I want to knit, but I think it would be nice to knit one maybe this year at some point. Not sure what yarn I would use. I think this pattern calls for a DK weight, and I think technically the Noro Kakigori yarn is DK because that's like the average of the yarn weights that it has in one skein. I really love this, and I think I'm gonna definitely be getting more wear out of it, especially on these kind of weird days where it's like cloudy but also sunny. It is a thicker fabric that this yarn created, and so it is a little bit too thick for like a true summer day, but in this kind of weird weather that we are having in the Seattle area, it's like spring doesn't want to quite leave yet, summer hasn't quite come in yet, so there's some times where it's just like beautiful day and then the next day is like stormy. So I don't know, but it's good to have something like this for those transitional periods. So I have my only finished object, and this one I was like trying to power through. And then I think I finished it about a week ago, blocked it. I have not cut the ends yet, just because I blocked it and it dried, and then it hasn't been cold enough to wear it, so I just didn't end up taking the ends off, but please ignore that. Anyways, let me make sure I'm holding up the right side, but I did finish my Oslo sweater. This is knit in Knit Picks palette yarn in the Clover colorway, held together with a mohair from Mayflower. I bought it off of Hobby, however you say it. Mayflower, like easy, no, that's not what it's called. The Mayflower Super Kid Silk mohair, and the shade was Pesto. And it created this beautiful green sweater. I'm obsessed. I love it so much. I would be wearing it right now, but it's a little too hot for a mohair sweater, but it's not hot enough for like true summer wear, if that makes sense. Anyways, I will pop this on after I film, and I'll insert a little video maybe of me wearing it to kind of show you. I actually haven't tried it on since blocking it, so I'm not really sure how it fits truly. When I tried it on before blocking, it did fit well. It was kind of weirdly bunching in this area, so I don't know, we'll see in the video if that went away, but I was hoping it would block out. So anyways, this is a drop shoulder construction. This is a PetiteKnit pattern. I don't think I said that. I mean, I really enjoyed knitting this. I think it's just a really basic drop shoulder pattern, but I really wanted it for the collar. Every time I saw pictures of the collar on this, I really wanted to knit this pattern. There was something about the collar that was just calling to me. I don't know why. I don't have anything else to say about this because I don't really know how it wears yet. I'm feeling meh about this because I haven't put it on, so I don't, if I seem like I'm not excited to have this finished object, it's not that I'm not excited, I just haven't, I don't know how it fits yet, so I'll update you in future videos when I finally can like wear it, like truly give it a nice wear. Let's go ahead and move on to whips. So I've casted on a couple of things since last time. One of them I am going to show you even though I have like zero progress on it, and then the other one I'm not going to show you because it is self-drafted and I haven't made very much progress on it, and I don't really want to explain it until I have more that I can show you because I don't want to be too repetitive, so I might as well just skip it and wait till I have more to show you and explain why I'm making it and all that. I do have a half finished object. This is the sock that I was working on in the last podcast episode. It's just a average vanilla sock with a 2x2 ribbed cuff, and I'm using a sock set from one of my favorite indie dyers, Wendy from Potions and Purls, and this is the Enchanted sock set, which the last time I checked her Etsy site, she did not have it in stock. I'm not sure if that's just because she's currently out or if she's no longer making this one, but I love working with this yarn. It's such a joy to work with, and the colorways are so beautiful. I can't get enough of her colorways. I've said this in previous podcasts, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself a ton, but I obsess over her colorways. They're just so beautiful. So this is where I'm at on the second sock. I think I'm like almost halfway through the leg on the second one, so hopefully I can finish that up in the next few days and get these were my spring socks, so I kind of want them to be done before it's like fully summer so I can wear them in the springtime, but they've been really nice to work on during the springy weather. I feel like I'm just gotten so low energy because it's like the clouds just keep coming in, and I'm like, oh, it was so beautiful out like earlier today, and now I'm like, oh, now I just want to like curl up and take a nap or like read a book. I don't have a project bag for this anymore. I don't know what happened. I swear I had one at some point and then I don't know where it went, and so it's just been it's been like a free roaming project, which I don't like because I keep worrying that like it's gonna get dirty or something. This is my Cumulus Tee. Oh, I feel like it's longer than I thought. I'm gonna have to try this on again. I think we're getting to a point where I'm gonna need to try it on. The last time I tried it on, I still needed several inches. Like it was just coming to just under my boobs. So yeah, I was like, oh, I gotta keep knitting for quite a while. But I think I might need to try this on again. So I feel like this has been in the podcast for quite a few episodes at this point. So I'm using Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the Sunflower colorway, and I'm really enjoying knitting on this right now. It's just simple stockinette. Yeah, I feel like I'm so sorry, I feel like I've talked about it already so many times, so I'm just kind of like, I don't have anything else to say, but I'm knitting this on 2.5 US 2.5s, so 3mm needles. It's probably not going to be finished by the next episode either. I just feel like it's going to take me a little bit because it's just, you know, it's so slow, but that's fine. It's totally okay. My next whip is the, oh man, why do I keep forgetting what it's called. The Regency Romance Doodle Cowl. This is inspired by Bridgerton, and this is where I'm at now. And I think the next set of episodes are coming out soon. And by the time, honestly, by the time I even get this video edited, they might already be out. So I will be definitely picking this back up. I did take a little bit of a break from it after I finished Bridgerton, just because I had other things, and was kind of needing a little bit of a, I think I was trying to finish my Oslo sweater, so I like really honed in on that and kind of forgot about this for a little bit, but now that I'm being reminded of it, I'm super excited to pick this back up, and especially with the rest of Bridgerton season 3 coming out in a couple of days, I'm definitely going to be getting more on this done. I did the butterfly motif, and it's so beautiful. Like, look at that. And these are like fans, right? And then I don't know where I was at the last. Was I here? Is that what that progress keeper is for? Potentially. That would help if I remembered like why I put the progress keepers in. So anyways, if that's what this progress keeper was for, if that was for the last episode, then I got a ton done. So I'm so excited to go back to knitting on this. It's just been so much fun. The yarn, so the pattern is by Jamie from PacificKnitCo. The yarn is from Moonglow Yarn Co. And I may have also bought more of her yarn for another doodle. I just love them so much. I just think it's such a fun project. It's so engaging. Highly recommend if you are looking for a fun colorwork hand-dyed yarn project. I feel like we are speeding through. Let me show you my Leith cardigan, because that I did not update you guys on the last podcast because I thought I hadn't made any progress, but I actually had made some progress. But it just, I don't know, in my mind it was like I hadn't, so I just like didn't talk about it even though I had. I'm not sure where we are, like 2 episodes ago, I don't know where I was when I was showing you this. But to refresh your memory and my memory, I have finished both the front panels, so they're just kind of waiting for the back panel to be done, and I'm currently working on the back panel. So I think I have a couple more inches to do on the back panel before I need to start doing, I think, the shaping for the neck, I think, if I recall correctly, but we are making progress. I'm showing you the wrong side too, which is probably not super helpful if you're, you know, actually wanting to see what it's gonna look like. But oh my goodness, I picked this back up the other day and I was reminded of how much I'm enjoying knitting on it, because the intarsia is so easy, and it's kind of, I wouldn't call it mindless knitting necessarily, but it's just easy to kind of switch the yarns, and you have to kind of count which, you know, keep track of which row you're on and all that when you need to switch for the stripes and everything. But I don't know, it's a really easy, kind of seems like a pretty simple cardigan construction. I haven't knit I've only knit one cardigan previous to this, prior to this, but this one seems fairly easy. I mean, but it's also bottom up, so I haven't gotten to like the harder parts yet. And I know when I get to a point where I need to pick up stitches for the sleeves, I know that I'm going to get annoyed because I hate picking up sleeve stitches. I hate picking up stitches in general. So I don't think I'm gonna have this done anytime soon because I feel like I'm going to lag when I get to the sleeves. I'm gonna be like, ugh, I don't wanna pick up stitches for that. And then the button band, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna take me a long time. So, but I'm still really enjoying this, and I think once I get the construction down, I would totally be down to knit another one. Maybe in some like brighter colors, more like Rebecca's sample for it, like the one with all the bright colors with the like white yarn or like the cream colored yarn that she used. And by the way, I didn't say this, I go an extra week without filming a podcast episode, and apparently I can't remember how to actually podcast. So the pattern was the Leith cardigan by Rebecca Clow, also known as the Kraemer here on YouTube, and I'm knitting the BloucLieth version. It's literally the same pattern, it's just that I'm knitting it with Boucle yarn from Explorer Knits and Fibers, and then the other section, the non-Boucle section, is their Suri Alpaca held with their Earthy DK. So all the shades are in the Olive Grove colorway from the Spain collection. Anyways, I love the olive colors. I'm obsessed. As many of you know, I've become obsessed with green. So let me move on to my next green whip, which I definitely had casted on before the last podcast, but I have made some good progress on it. Let me show you. It's looking so good. Let me just kind of try to somewhat untangle. It's gonna be hard to show you because I definitely need to transfer this to a longer cord, but I just haven't yet. But this is my Fjolla. I'm knitting this in Knit Picks Galileo yarn in the colorway Orion, and it's just this beautiful green. I cannot wait to wear this. This is a bamboo merino wool blend, and I feel like it's going to be very nice and drapey. I think it'll add a little bit of warmth, but like not too much. So I think again, it's one of those fabrics that's going to be really great for like kind of this transitional period. And I'm like, if I can get this done sooner rather than later, I might be able to get some use out of it. But I could also see myself throwing this on, like even if it's summer, like if it's late at night or something and I'm outside, kind of pop this on to kind of stay warm. It's got this lace pattern running down the sleeves. I will also of course pop in pictures because it's hard to show you when it's all bunched up like this, but we got the lace detailed there. There's also this lace part in the front, but right now I'm just working on the body, and it's basically just stockinette in the round, except for there is a faux seam that I would show you if it wasn't totally bunched up on the cable. And again, I have a stitch marker in here, but I think I put that in for a vlog, not for this podcast. So I think I was not even close to this far. I don't think I had split for sleeves in the last podcast. I could be wrong. It's been a while, I can't remember. But anyways, oh, this is also part of a knit along that I joined that my friend Faith from the Fiber Fables podcast is hosting, and I believe she did extend the date for it. I think it was supposed to end the beginning of June. She, I think, extended it to July. I could be wrong, but if you want to join, you too can knit this. And by the way, it looks like the pattern, like when you see it, you're like, oh my god, like there's so many written instructions, but it's actually not hard. It just looks like a lot, but it's not. And especially once you get past the sleeves, and then you're just basically knitting in the round. Like it's pretty simple. I feel like actually it just looks intimidating. So don't let that stop you. But I'm so glad that I joined, because I was kind of like do I want to knit that? Do I want, but then I don't know, I kept thinking about like the lace sleeves and I couldn't, you know, get it out of my head at that point. So I was like, yeah, why not join? Like, then if I do get stuck, I have people to be like, hey, I'm not understanding this, right? But it's actually such an easy pattern. So my last whip that I have that I'm going to show you anyways, is this that I just cast on this week. And I casted it on and I did a full repeat of the lace pattern only to realize that I had somehow twisted it before I joined it. Even though I was being so careful, I had somehow managed to twist it. And I think I've discovered that I thought, like, at least, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like when I would go to join in the round, like once it's joined, I thought like it can't get twisted. But I think on that first row, if you like mess up the end where you like finish casting on, if you don't make sure that that tail kind of stays put, I feel like can kind of undo itself in a weird way where it ends up twisting. Or maybe I'm just not good at joining the round. That's also a possibility. But I had twisted it somehow and I felt like I got so far in the pattern. Or I didn't. I literally did. It was one like lace repeat, which is like 8 rows. So it's not that far, but it felt like I had done so much work. And then I realized it was twisted and I was like, how did I do that? So I had to rip it back and start over. Here we are. This is going to be the Lotus Petal Top by Iris H, I think is what's on Ravelry. I will put up a picture and the name and everything, and always, all the patterns are always linked in the description if you ever, like, if I say something wrong or if I forget to pop it in, it'll still be in the description box. Anyway, so I am fairly confident that this is not twisted. I've been checking like every row I finish, I like check to like make sure. But yeah, so this is a bottom up summer top. It has lace on the bottom, which is probably obvious from the fact that it's bottom up and I'm doing the lace repeat. And then it's got, I think it's just like stockinette, you do some shaping, and then I think it's probably kind of like this construction probably, at least I assume. And yeah, so I'm very, very excited. I think it's gonna look so nice. And the yarn that I'm using is a discontinued yarn. It's from Barocco. It's their Lago yarn, and I will have it listed in the description what the colorway name is, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, I bought this yarn so long ago. It was back before, like this was when I was in like college or just out of college, something like that. And I was with my mom and we were in the Cannon Beach yarn shop, Coastal Yarns. And I remember seeing a pattern that I wanted to knit. And so I bought like the pattern and I bought the yarn. Actually, my mom bought it for me. And then I got too nervous to ever try it because I didn't want to like ruin the yarn by like knitting something that, and I never knit a sweater before, and so I just never did it, and it just sat there forever. And then I found it a while back and didn't know what I was going to use it for, and I finally decided on this. So technically I think this is a an Aran weight yarn or worsted weight, and it's kind of that thick and thin yarn, which I did not realize. I thought it was like, I looked at it and I was like, that's fingering weight for sure. And so I chose it for this pattern, which is for a fingering weight. It's a fingering weight pattern. But I hit gauge. I did like the briefest gauge swatch ever, and I hit gauge. So I'm like, it'll work, it's fine. And yeah, and then I didn't realize until I was knitting the gauge swatch that it was thick and thin, and that's kind of why I think they classified it as like an Aran weight. But I think like the thinner parts are definitely more of a fingering weight. So I've just been using it. I'm not sure how it's going to affect the lace detail with the thick and thin yarn. I'm not sure, but we're just gonna see what happens. And if I enjoy knitting this pattern, I'll probably knit a different one in like maybe like a wool, or maybe like, I don't know, knitting for all of pure silk or something like that. Just kind of see how the different yarns kind of affect that laciness, because I'm just very intrigued by the lace part of it. And I'm realizing, I feel like I'm knitting a lot of lace, which is nice. We like that. We like to try new things. So those are all my whips. So if you were leaving me here, if you don't like to watch acquisitions in podcast episodes, first of all, I will say I totally understand. Sometimes I skip them too, to be completely honest. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to know what yarn you bought because it's just gonna make me want to go buy yarn. So if you want to leave me here, that is totally a-okay. And I'm just warning you, if you're on like a low buy, no buy yarn diet type thing, maybe skip, because I bought a lot of yarn and I shouldn't have, because I'm trying to do this whole 5 out 1 in thing where I finish 5 projects and then I can buy yarn for 1 project. I did not stick to that this time around, but I will be getting back to it. I've recommitted myself to it because I'm looking at the yarn and I'm like, wow, I'm stressed actually. Like, this was supposed to be a fun thing for me to buy, and now I'm kind of stressed because I don't know what I want to make with it. And yeah, so I learned my lesson. This was something that had to happen so I could kind of remember why I started to do this 5 out 1 in thing. Like, I started that for a reason, and now I've realized what that reason is. Also, Joann's was having a sale, so that was part of it too. But also, when is Joann's not having a sale? Like, Joann's and Michael's are always having sales. I feel like you should never pay full price for yarn from Michael's or Joann's. Like, because they're always on sale. They're always a coupon somewhere that you can get. I have a shit ton. This is not full of, actually it is. There is, I do have a whip that lives in that project bag that I haven't touched, but this is, I've got some yarn in here. Some of it is yarn that I already showed you from last time, but I have just a boatload of palette yarn from Knit Picks. I'm not going to be able to show you all of them. I've got this blue color, I've got this beige, kind of like a green gold type situation there. I've got a white, I've got a light gray, I've got a slightly darker gray, I've got a black, and red. So I bought a bunch of different colors. I bought 2 of each because I came up with an idea of something that I wanted to knit in his color work, and I just I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a DK weight or like hold them together or just fingering weight. So I bought 2 of each just in case, and I wasn't sure exactly like what colors I was gonna need, so I just kind of went for all of the colors that I could possibly use in this project. I will show it to you when it's longer because right now if I showed it to you, it just doesn't look like anything, and I just want to have more to show you. And I'm not sure, I may be ripping it out at some point because I don't know how, it's not big enough for me to tell like how wide it's going to be, so I might not have the right like gauge that I want, and I might need to start over. So I just don't really want to show you that, but I feel like I needed to show you the yarn. I also bought, I bought some True Boo from Lion Brand in this, I think it's Seafoam, yes, Seafoam colorway. It's kind of a blue-green situation here. Sorry for the crinkling noise, but I did buy 5 of these. I'm so excited. I am going to be knitting the Fae Summer Top in this. I'm so excited. I'm gonna put up a picture. This is so soft, by the way. This is 100% rayon from Bamboo. I'm gonna be knitting the Fae Summer Top, and this is super extra exciting because I'm actually gonna be knitting it along with Faith, of course, from the Fiber Fables podcast, who's already going to be linked down below because I already mentioned her, and also Jenny from the Honeybird Studio. I will leave her channel linked down below as well, but I think all 3 of us will be knitting on this, and we're just gonna do kind of a little low-key, unofficial mini knit along with each other. That's so exciting. I'm very, very excited for that, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and definitely make sure you, I did not catch it in time, but it's okay. It fell into one of my other project bags. It's fine. But yeah, make sure you go check out Faith and Jenny's podcast. I will leave both their channels linked down below. If you don't already subscribe to them, make sure you go on over, subscribe to their channels, watch their podcasts. You'll definitely enjoy them. So that was why I was on Joann's website to begin with, and then they were having just all these sales. So I didn't take all the yarn because it's still in plastic bags that they were shipped in for the most part. And I don't want to try to hold up all of the yarn, but I did get multiples of all of the ones that I'm going to show you. So I picked up some Kobu from Lion Brand. I felt like this would obviously be pretty similar to the True Boo, but I kind of just wanted to like feel the difference, see how they knit up differently, because this one is I believe how much, it's cotton and bamboo as well. And I got the lilac shade because, hi, that is gorgeous. So I don't know what I'm gonna knit with this. I have 6 of these. I think I just kind of overbought so that I could kind of knit whatever. But I was thinking it's a DK weight. I was thinking like I could do a Tulsa tee. I could actually do this pattern again. I think this could be nice with this yarn. I like that idea. There's also the Tulsa tank that just came out, as well as so many other summer tops that I can make, but I figured I would maybe try something that I've already knit, like maybe the Farnham tee. So many different things I could do with that. So there's that. And then I also bought, I think I did 6 of this one as well, but I got some of the Patton's linen yarn, and this is in the poppy colorway. Yes, poppy. And it's kind of just this like really bright red that's kind of a little bit of an orangey undertone to it. Yeah. Anyways, I saw Faith using this for one of her projects. I think, is she knitting the Anchors tee with this? I think. I could be wrong, but she bought I think she got like the sweet potato color, which is more orangey, and that looks really beautiful, and I was trying to decide between that and the poppy shade, and I just decided to go ahead and get the poppy one. But I definitely have my eye on the sweet potato colorway as well because it looks beautiful. But anyways, yeah, this is 65% cotton, 35% linen, and I think it's a fingering weight, yeah. And then I don't know what I'm gonna knit with this either, so I got 6 skeins just to be on the safe side, so I'd have enough to knit whatever I want. And I'm very excited for that, but again, don't know what I'm gonna knit with it. And then I picked up some wool as well. I got a sweater quantities worth of the Patton's Classic Wool worsted. This is in the pumpkin pie colorway. I love a good like fall orange type of color, and I have no idea what I will knit with this, but I got a good amount. So I feel like I could knit quite a few. I feel like I got enough where I should be set to knit whatever I decide on. I should have enough yardage for it, so I'm very excited for that. But I just wanted to get some more Patton's Classic Wool worsted because I liked working with it before. I do want to knit a sweater fully out of that yarn. When I knit with it before, it was for my Lumi pullover, and it was the contrast color, so I didn't get to, I got to use it, but not for like the full sweater. And then, I don't know, I saw this and I was intrigued, so I went ahead and bought a sweater quantities worth of this one as well. This is a DK weight yarn, and it's from Eddie Bauer, and it's their Alpaca yarn. The shade that I got, the color is green olive. I don't need any more green sweaters, but it's gonna happen anyways. And yeah, I don't know, I was intrigued because I was like, why is Eddie Bauer making yarn? Because they're kind of like a outdoorsy type store, and I'm like, yeah, I guess if you're knitting a sweater, you can wear it outdoors to keep you warm. So it kind of makes sense, but it also kind of seems like a weird way that they're expanding their brand. I don't know, maybe it makes more sense. I just thought that that was interesting that they're now making yarn, or maybe they've been making yarn and it's just now coming to Joann's. I don't know, but I just thought it was interesting, so I decided to get it and check it out, and it feels really nice. And it's let's see, it is 80% extra fine merino superwash and 20% alpaca. It's very soft, very excited to work with that. I don't know what I'm gonna make with it yet. I was thinking potentially I could make the Afro sweater by Irene Lynn. That's an idea that I have, but I don't know for sure if I will do that or not. But now let's move on to the hand-dyed yarn. So I bought some more yarn from Moonglow Yarn Co. So they had some sets. So this is the Coral Cove sock sets. But yeah, this sock set is meant to go with the sock pattern. Maybe I'll hold them differently. I'm gonna be knitting those socks and I'm very excited. It looks so much fun. And then I apologize for the crinkling. I'm not gonna take these out of the packaging until I'm ready. I did buy the Doodle set for the ocean, I think. Is it just the ocean doodle? I'll put it up on the screen if I'm wrong, but I think it's the ocean doodle. And I bought the set for that as well. Those are both from Moonglow Yarn Co. Like I've said, I really enjoy working with their yarn. That'll be my third set that I've bought for a doodle. And I'm so excited to start it and knit on it in the summertime. It's gonna be so much fun. Did I need more sock sets? Absolutely not. But I saw these on Potions and Purls Etsy site and I did not buy them at first. I just got the one that was on sale that was catching my eye, and then I was like, I won't get the other ones, I'll just do the one that's on sale. But then I kept thinking about these, so a little bit later I went back on the site and bought them. So I got two more sock sets from Potions and Purls. This is Hello Brutiful. Super cute name. It's just like a coffee themed sock set. Probably will try to knit this in the fall, winter time. And then, I mean, hi, right? Like, look at this beauty. This is the Coral Reef sock set. So, really, really beautiful. I just couldn't stop thinking about these. So I think this is the one that I will knit in the summer, then maybe fall time. I also have another Potions and Purls sock set that I keep meaning to knit in the fall, but never got around to last time. So, yeah. So, got a few more sock sets, but like I said, these are my favorites. And anyways, those were my yarn purchases. Like I said, it was a bit. It was mostly just the stuff from Joann's that I technically, according to my 5 out, 1 in rules that I'm created for myself, the stuff from Joann's was the only stuff I wasn't supposed to buy. But doing the knit along, kind of, I wanted to make sure I was all set for that. And then the other stuff was just like, I don't know, it was just on sale and I was like, yarn. And I have been meaning to try out more budget friendly yarns, more accessible yarns. So it kind of seemed like the right thing to do, to just go ahead and get those when they were on sale. But now we're gonna pause the yarn buying for a bit. I think that's all that I have for this podcast episode. I'm trying to like remember if there was another thing that I was supposed to talk about, but I don't think there is. If you want more knitting content from me, I have a few more knitting centered vlogs coming your way. If you like bookish content, especially if you're into reading romantasy or fantasy romance, I read a lot of that, and I'm posting bookish content now. So if any of that sounds interesting, make sure you stick around, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and if you could do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up, that would be amazing. Let me know what you're currently knitting on. If you were knitting while watching, what were you working on? What are your summer projects? What yarn have you bought recently? Let me know. I would love to hear. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it here. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I'm hoping to be back in 2 weeks for my next episode, 3 weeks at the latest, but hopefully in 2 weeks we'll be back with another one. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
Alright, this is a song that I wrote about falling too fast, but I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't wanna lose my grounding, so you catch me not responding, and
I press my lips together so you don't find any answer.